I ordered a package off eBay. I didn't know eBay had their own tape. Shows how often I ever order stuff off of there. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, looks like it's fairly well packaged. It's a good sign. Oh. So everyone has sort of an item that they want. They lust after. It's sort of their white whale of whatever their niche interest is. This is mine. This is the Zenith VRD-530. It is a vertical VCR that's also a side loader made by JVC. And it is just minty. You don't often see them. Oh, it's magnetic. You don't often see them with this door on the front. And like, yeah, it's just, oh, it's glorious. This is a very unique model. It's made by JVC, like I said, and JVC had manufactured and sold one side-loading VCR. The HRD, is it HR? It's the 470U. Slick-looking VCR from the mid to late 80s, side loads, but it's a horizontal orientation, like pretty much every VCR. Look at my hand, it's so shiny. And Zenith sold 3 different versions of that. I will show them here. And I actually have one, and I did a video there about it. Very cool. Membrane buttons, kind of a downside, but overall, very neat mechanism. And that was all in the same model year. The next model year, Zenith sold a sideways loading vertical VCR, and they had made 2 of them. The VRD-230, I think it is, which is a mono version of this with its 4-head, and then the VRD-530, or it might be a 530HF. Let's actually look and see. Okay, yeah, it's the VRD-530HF, and it's a hi-fi model of the vertical VCR, and it's beautiful. And there's not a lot of information out there, but apparently Zenith sold a console TV with a section you could put this VCR in and slide it into your console TV. Now, naturally, this was sold as non-working, but visually, this has survived shipping beautifully. I'm very, very happy. This actually came up for sale in Canada, where I'm located. A lot of these are for sale in the US, and the shipping's often like stupidly high numbers, like $100, $150 to ship, plus the $400 or $500 Canadian that they ask for these things in bad condition. This was still a fair price, but the shipping was included in that fairer price, and the currency conversion didn't absolutely destroy me, so I decided to pull the trigger. And yeah, man, you don't see ones like this that minty very often. So let's see. I think it powered on in the listing. Hey, it's a little bit dim in person, but it's not bad on camera. Actually, even in person, it's not that bad. All things considered, I bet this just needs a bit of cleaning inside. It looks pretty decent. So where are my controls? I got transport controls here, index controls there, TV video, which is your RF modulator. Yeah, there's a bit of burn-in in there. Clock, counter memory. Yeah, this is just a linear counter because it's old enough for that. I think, where are the channel controls? Here's the channel controls. Cool. It's got the channel memory from whoever had this before. I always thought, at least in the photos, this looks like a computer tower. A modern computer tower in the late 90s all the way up to the late 2000s, I guess. Anyway, let's open this up. Oh, I just love it. This cover comes off like a computer tower. Just one big U shape there. And immediately, here is a label from a tape that fell inside. Interestingly, that's Zenith Video Operation Guide for use with Zenith VR-3100, VR I can't read what that says. Series video cassette. Oh, this is the demo tape that someone recorded Dirty Dancing soundtrack, Good Morning Vietnam soundtrack, and La Bamba soundtrack over. Given this form factor, I'm expecting it's probably going to be more difficult to work on than your standard VCR. I'm really tempted to just flip it and lay it down like a normal horizontal machine. But just kind of taking a look inside here. So far I see one belt for loading. We'll see if that's any good. And to get to the bottom of the mechanism, I think I'm going to have to swing this circuit board out. It didn't seem like this has ever been opened. Before I go any further, I want to actually test it out because it said it wasn't working and I want to see what it does. So I've plugged it in. This looks a lot newer than it actually is, so it fooled me. It doesn't have on-screen display. So I had to plug in a source just to see that the tuner is in fact working, which it is. So let's put a tape in and see what it does. Oh. Unhappy belt. Would you believe my luck? I don't have a replacement belt this size and thickness. Appear to have used everything up. I've got thinner belts, and I've got a belt that's too big of a diameter and way too small, so I'll have to go and order one. So in the meantime, I'm just going to help it along manually. Hey! There we go. It's an unhealthy view. I believe that almost looks like almost kind of looks like the tape guides are out of alignment. Let's see, what do I got for audio?
Scandinavia is a somewhat nebulous
about tracking.
to define
Oh, it's electronic tracking.
Northern Europe, extending almost 1,200 miles north to south, separating the Baltic Sea from the North Atlantic Ocean. A mountain chain creates a natural border of
No, that line's still there, eh?
Norway and Sweden, and the Arctic Circle cuts across the top of both countries. Their southern...
Yeah, that looks like a tape guide alignment problem. Unfortunately, I can't see anything, so I'll have to pull these guys out. But, I mean, it is working. The audio sounded horrendous. There was no hi-fi there, but that might just be because this is a budget tape. And I'm assuming, given the age of this, there's going to be probably a belt on the underside for the capstan drive. So yeah, let me get these boards out here. Let's stop. How well does that handle it?
I think Lisa needs another push on her new tires.
Well, that's neat. There's two screws here, and then there's a hinged piece on the bottom, and then these boards just flip down. And now I can get at the sweet, sweet insides. And other than being extremely dusty, it looks fine. One thing I've never liked about this orientation, I have actually a Mitsubishi, or I guess Electrohome branded, one of those boombox style VCRs that has actually a similar orientation to this, only it's a top loader, or I guess a front loader in this case. And the head sticking up means that dust can fall on the head itself and in between the drum and the base, and you get little crunchies in there. This one seems fine, but it can happen.
To the tiny kingdom of Denmark. Perhaps what truly bonds the countries of Scandinavia is not the land, but
now
the
it's
sea.
fine.
On their endless fjords.
Endless fjords. I wonder if it just didn't load properly that first time because it just hasn't been used in so long. Because now,
The Nordic people.
looks perfect. ×2 looks perfect. Let's try a fast forward scan. Looks good. Hit play. Try a rewind scan. Bit of an unhappy sound. But it seems to be clearing up. Still not great. This whole thing will need the full mechanism will need to be cleaned up and everything.
Midnight sun.
Did it eat the tape there? No, okay. It's just an uneven. Oh no, see, there we go.
North to south,
now we're back. I'm all turned around here. This is the entry side, so this is the top and this is the bottom, so it's going to be this one. Yeah. So why is it acting funny here? It's going past the head. Oh, this is where the pinch roller is. It very well could be that it's riding up and down on the pinch roller. I'm going to flip I'm going to give up and I'm going to flip this horizontally. Now I can't get the problem to repeat. Rewind scan's working great. Now that could be because it's sitting horizontally, like it was designed to in the original VHS spec. Or maybe it's just working itself in, because again, it hasn't been used in so long. So when I hit rewind scan now, it's perfectly clear. I don't see any riding up or riding down near the audio head there. Let's try fast forward. Same thing. It's looking great. So here's something interesting. See, the tape is partially loaded when it's not in play. So it's not loaded against the video head drum, but it is loaded against this head. Now that was done, at least I thought, it was mimicking Beta, but it was to mimic a feature that Beta introduced, which is the linear time counter. So it'll actually count the tracking pulses on this head in fast forward and rewind to keep track of where you are on the tape with hours, minutes, and seconds, as opposed to this non-linear tape counter. It's just a 4-digit counter that is on, I can never remember which reel it's on, one of the reel tables. So non-linear meaning that as you fast forward or rewind, the reel will spin up or slow down as it has more tape on it. So the numbers don't consistently represent a time unit. But this is non-linear and it has the partial load. And that is because of the index feature. So when you mark an index marking on the tape, it actually records it. I don't actually remember where it records it. It might be on the audio or I think it's within the control track. But anyway, it's picked up with this head here. So when you're in fast forward or rewind, you basically use the index mark to find the next recording or previous recording, and you can search through easily. You know what? I'm going to eat my words on that on-screen display comment. This does in fact have on-screen display. So if I hit fast forward, you'll see fast forward. And if I hit stop, last time when I hit stop, the channel indicator comes up. But the reason why I didn't see the channel indicator is if you see me change channel here, the dang on-screen display for this TV hides it. Oh, there it is. See? You can just miss it. If you press enter on the remote, it'll bring up the on-screen display. Very nice. It doesn't have a blue screen, so you have to be on a video signal to see the on-screen display because it has to overlay it over an existing sync signal, right? But it is there. Let's see, is there a menu? No, there's no menu. So this remote is in fact newer. I haven't found much information on which exact remote this came with yet. However, it's probably some of the older remotes. I think I've shown them on here, like the one I had for the VR-2300, and they use those J-type batteries. So these are some of the old style remotes. I don't believe Zenith switched to this style until the next model year after this, the VRE series. I did VRD-530HF a while back, and this is the remote that it would have come with. This is a universal, newer one. So these are these older style ones. This is, I'm not sure which style or color would have come with it, but the thing I don't like about these, and the reason I don't use them, is for whatever reason, Zenith decided to go with these J-type batteries, these large expensive and uncommon batteries that I believe were most commonly used in like Polaroid cameras. Here's an example that's long since died. It's an Energizer from date E1. Okay, that's not helpful. At any rate though, it's an oddball, I think, is it 6 volt? What's the voltage of these guys? Yeah, 6 volts. So this is like a transitional period. A lot of older remotes used to use 9 volt batteries, and then I guess Zenith was able to get it down to 6 volts. But then shortly after, most remotes just used 2 batteries, 2 1.5 volt AA's or AAA's for 3 volts. So yeah, unfortunately that just means that if you have an older Zenith remote like this, you're either going to have to find a newer one for daily use and just kind of keep this to have the original, or you're going to have to go out and buy one of those batteries to use these. So I'm just going to use a slightly newer one that is period correct. I thought this remote might be a little bit more period accurate, and if I press this search/sequence button, there we go. Button's a little wonky on this thing, I think. This has a time remain counter on it. So it's got speed position sensors for both reel tables. Amazing that they had all that feature, but they didn't add a real-time counter or linear counter till the next model year.
Man, and curiosity can have repercussions. But lucky you, you get rewarded with a nice vanilla Coke.
Remember when vanilla Coke was everywhere?
The refreshment of Coke.
So it's doing the same thing it was before. I can't clear up that noise with tracking, and then if I do a rewind scan, it's kind of a big mess. So it's acting like it's not loading correctly. This tape guide is not lined up. And the reason I haven't just willy-nilly adjusted it is that we've seen it work correctly. So this, I think, is fine. Something else is causing this issue. And I suspect it's over here.
Taking this ship precisely nowhere.
Don't be foolish. You spoil your...
Well, EP appears to play fine. We've got a hi-fi track. I don't know how good this recording is. If I remember right, these aren't the best recordings examples, so I'll try some other tapes, but it appears to be working. Play.
But I'll be patient.
Fast forward. Rewind. Pause. Do play. Do ×2. Looks good to me. And we...
Shame on you, boy! Put some damn pants on and then pull them down, 'cause it's time for a spanking!
Well,
don't worry, because I won't make the mistake again.
And now it works perfectly. I was about to show the problem and it just shut off on its own, and now it's playing fine. Getting like a... Oh man, I wonder if I could do that again. A high-pitched ringing sound in the linear audio, which means that the tape is so far off that we're actually hearing the edges of the video track. But then I hit stop and play and now it's fine. I'm thinking it's the pinch roller, and I'm going to see if I can remove this bracketry along here so I can get a better look of what's going on over here. But I bet that pinch roller is pretty dry and old and hardened. But yeah, now it's just working flawlessly on this other tape.
Different verse.
And I can switch to hi-fi.
Things are never going to change with you.
Hi-fi is a little off, but it's perfect. So yeah, it plays fine, but sometimes it's not loading correctly up here. Okay, let me dig into this and we'll see. I forgot that JVC used rubber idler tires as late as 1987 or 88. That feels very late given a lot of other manufacturers' designs that long moved away from rubber towards gears. Oh wow, look at that. I don't think I've ever seen that much black come off of a pinch roller with just isopropyl alcohol. It's working fine now. I cleaned the path on the reel table here where the back tension pad sits. That didn't fix it. I cleaned the hell out of that pinch roller, and now it feels amazing. It was really hardened. It was filthy. That didn't fix it. But all of these are making it perform better and better. I do not know what is causing this problem, but what it looks like is somewhere between this tape guide and this tape guide, the tape is being lifted up. It might actually even be lifted up coming out of the cassette. And by the time it gets to this tape guide over here, it's actually getting curled along the top of the tape as it runs along here. And then it's riding up so high that you're hearing the video tracks with that ringing. And of course the picture has a bunch of lines in it because you're seeing multiple fields. That's why when you see fast moving scenes with that, you would see the sections change separately because they're actually different fields it's reading. And those lines are the separation between the fields. Anyway, I don't know what the issue is. I'm going to continue watching this, using it a bit. Maybe I'll watch a movie on it. I think I've been able to recreate it. I think this mechanism isn't quite holding the tape down correctly, because sometimes when this problem was occurring, it would just stop playing. And I believe it's all related to this belt. If I go and lift the tape up ever so slightly, you'll see at some point the take-up reel will stop. See? And then it shuts down. So now if we're not quite down all the way, this side's kind of floating up and down like that. And if it drifts up, the tape sometimes rides up when it goes into the mechanism. Now if I go and, let's see, place this all the way down, so it's right down, which I've been watching the mechanism, and when it loads the tape, it does load it all the way down. So maybe just sometimes it's not doing it. It's playing just fine. And now if I sort of lift the tape up just a little bit, so now that it's kind of loose. Oh, that's too much. Shit. Just sort of lift this side up. There we go, we're starting to see the same problem. And now I have caused that same problem. The tape's riding too high. And I'll have to push this back down, which is this way. And once it's doing that, it's doing that. The only thing you can do is hit stop, unload the tape. And we're back. So it might just be related to the belt, or there might be something within this mechanism that's not holding this down correctly. But I suspect it's just the belt and I'm chasing my tail.
You are. Bobby told me where you were.
Alright, you know what? Serviceability's not so bad. This board folds down after taking 3 screws out. And we can see the underside of the mechanism, and this is the same mechanism that VRD-530HF had that I had to go and clean the mode switch on. I believe I had to clean the mode switch, and it was a pain in the butt. If I recall, I had to take the whole thing out, and I had to desolder all these little connection points, take the circuit board out. Hope I don't ever have to do that on this machine, because that was a lot. Anyway, what I've done is I've removed the front panel because I'd like to take the plastic, I'd like to take the VFD out and clean it and the lens because it's kind of dirty. But man, oh man, look at all these connectors on the back side of this that I had to go and remove the tie wraps, find all the connectors that go to each board, because it's got all the circuitry mounted to the back of this front panel. I was hoping it'd be mounted to the chassis. That would make more sense to me, but I guess for whatever reason they decided to mount it to this directly. Alright, got all this set up and ready to clean in the bathroom. Or the pharmacy looking background there. That looks a little bit dirty. You can definitely tell this was the flagship model with the level of complexity we've got here. Yep, all this black stuff is literally just from the front lens there. So clean this up, Clean that up. These actually don't look as bad as the front lens. I think that was the worst. A proper cleaning always uses Q-tips. Lots of Q-tips. Oh yeah, look at that. That is so much brighter and better. There's still a bit of those vertical lines through the display, but they're not as bad. Not exactly sure what those are. This could just be like where the little heater lines are in the VFD that they wore out faster or something. Like you really see it on SP there. But still, this looks a million times better with just a cleaning. And cleaned up the inside of here nicely. Still looks a little dirty inside. I didn't actually take the buttons out. But yeah, just a little dust is all it had on it. Oh boy, it's been quite a while. These belts came a long time ago when I installed the SBM 6.5. And since then I've just kind of been busy, and every once in a while I've been throwing a movie on this to have on in the background, and it's been working great. I think that issue was that a weak belt wasn't loading the tape incorrectly, and this side seems to trail because the loading, I guess the loading would be driven from this side here, but for whatever reason it seemed to be having that effect that I'm not noticing anymore. Everything's playing great, so I think it's time to put this back together. Oh, well that sucks. I lost some footage where I was describing a new problem that came on, so I'm gonna just verbally describe it and mime it out here. When I put the tape in, and I can't show you the problem because I've already fixed it and I'm going back and editing, so when I would put the tape in, the tray would not always pull the tape all the way forward, but basically the tray, once you put the tape in here, the tray should pull the tape all the way in before it goes down. And what was happening is it was pulling it, but the tape was slipping back just a little bit, right? It wasn't pulling it all the way to the end. Then when it tries to go down, it would bind up. And that's with the replacement belt in. So that's a second problem. So anyway, back to me trying to figure out what the issue was. Trying to think of why sometimes when I put the tape in, it doesn't pull it all away. And then it finally just dawned on me now. So I'm back to filming this video. See this little piece here? I actually have another Zenith side loader that I did a video on a while ago, and I went back to look at the footage, and it has a little rubber band around it. So what this little piece does here, it's spring loaded, and when you put the tape in, it pushes against the tape and pulls it along. But as you can see, this has no rubber, so it's just the metal gripping, which is not enough to pull the tape in all the time. So just now when I was trying to figure it out, I bent these little tabs in a little bit, and I've messed with the whole ecosystem of this. So now it's actually working worse than it was before if I push the tape in. So it doesn't carry it at all. But as you can see, I'll push this tape in here and unplug this. This has a spring load to it. So this is supposed to be pulling the cassette all the way in. So I need to find a way to put rubber around this, specifically so the back of this has grip to pull this. It's like the world's smallest flat belt. Alright, so here's what I'm testing out. I'm holding a flat belt around it, like that. And then I need to hold that, because I got the camera here. Oop, nope. Because I'm pulling it. This is precarious. So I'll hold that. See, and it pulls it in. So maybe some rubber cement, I can cut this belt and then glue it upon itself on the back side. I think I'll give that a try. Alright, I've used some of the Dollarama super glue, and I'm currently gluing the first bit of this belt on there. Once this is secured, then I'm going to cut the other side and glue it upon itself, and hopefully that's enough to hold it in place. What could possibly go wrong? I have my little glued piece of rubber on here with the knockoff super glue. And let's try putting this in now. Oh, that is beautiful. That was the problem. So yeah, just took me a while to notice that. Missing piece of rubber on this arm that pulls the tape in. Now, I always ask this in all these videos, but if anyone knows where I can actually find a very small circumference rubber band like that, or belt, maybe one that's meant to go on the spindle on the end of a motor as sort of like an idler for grip or something like that, I'd like to put one on here that isn't glued, because I'm not sure how well this will last. But for now, I think that has fixed it. I think we're good. Something to note is this door here. It's pretty plain Jane. It doesn't have any logos on it. And I believe it's the same door that was used on the horizontal side loaders of the previous generation. And of course, if they had kept the logo on there, it would have been tilted 90 degrees. How do I know that, you ask? Well, look at this little Zenith logo shaped cutout on the backside that looks like it would have had something connected or attached to it. Alright, it's back together. Let's test it out with a new test tape I found at a garage sale. Chicken, a class act. I think this is chicken industry propaganda. Chicken Farmers of Canada, yes it is. This is recorded on a T12 HG, so a 12-minute at SP tape. It's a T12, 12-minute at SP HG, and it weighs nothing. It's from 2003, which I'd say is the tail end of VHS era. Shortly after DVD burners would become common enough that you could just send your stuff out on DVD. And there we go. Should have something on here any moment now.
Hi there, my name is Kate. Canada's chicken farmers invited me here to make this video so you can see what chicken farming is all about. Why me, you ask? Well...
Alright, that hi-fi audio sucked. I went and tried to tweak the guides in there, and yeah, this tape sucks. I just tried it in some known good machines, and that's just how it is. But, I mean, I shouldn't be surprised. I'm disappointed, but I shouldn't be surprised. Alright, what about another free tape? The John Deere L100 G100 series safety video.
Making your tractor purchase a John Deere. We build all our tractors with the quality and care that customers around the world have come to expect from the leading name in power equipment products.
Alright, yeah, that's fine. So, it was just a poorly recorded tape. False alarm, I get to put this back together again.
This video program helpful in getting the best performance, highest quality, and longest life from your new tractor. We'll discuss the correct way of operating your John Deere tractor by introducing tractor features, the controls, and their functions.
Yeah, I guess that's all there really is to show on this machine. Turns out it was just two pieces of rubber that needed to be replaced. Thank you for watching, and this has been a journey. This is has been my sort of holy grail of machines, but in the time since finding this, I've found a lot of other really cool stuff that I want to look at, so expect more videos in the future. Bye. I'm pretty sure I've shown this article before, but I just have this picture right here just got me onto it. This is a review from Video Magazine, January 1988, discussing the vertical VCR that Zenith has come out with, the Sidekick. And when this magazine came out at the beginning of 1988, it had a suggested retail price of $899 US, and it was highly recommended. And here's the specs for anyone that's interested. I'll just slowly scan down here. And like all the JVC made Zeniths, Ratings, excellent, 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 excellent. Now there's some other favorites in this same edition. The SL860D, which I have a few of and I used as my workhorse for quite a while. Here it is in the roundup with the remote that I can never seem to find. These are everywhere. I see them at auctions all the time. Never have the remote, which is weird because normally people who bought Sony equipment were very meticulous. They kept the box, they kept the manual, they loved it, they spent a bunch of money on it. And I usually get the remotes when I get Sony stuff, but I never see this one.
If you should accidentally hit something, immediately stop the mower blades. Turn off the machine and carefully inspect for damage.
Now, you've got little hands. Could you reach under that mower and pull out that skate? Never mind.